Second grade, we're going to go ahead and start our lesson. It's lesson 158, and it's page 315 and 316. Now, I feel like we haven't had a lot of time to go over our phonics chart. So today, we're going to go ahead and go through some charts. Hopefully that will help you when you're going to take your test. So go ahead and say them with me. We're going to go ahead and say these charts cowboy style. So we'll say them cowboy style. Let me just make sure you can get the last one in. I'm going to tilt that down just a little bit. There we go. All right, so say it with me, please. In shovel, O. In banana, A. In city, C. In faucet, A-W. In saw, A-W. E in leaf, E-A. F in thread, E-A. A in steak, E-A. E in brownie, I-E. E in key, E-Y. A in obey, E-Y. F in phone, P-H. K in chorus, C-H. R in thought, O-U-G-H-T. R in caught, A-U-G-H-T. J in giant, J. J in fudge, D-G-A. And then let's look at chart 12. And this time, I would like you to go ahead and do a jumping jack on the clue word. So say it with me, please. And asleep. A hyphen, all in also. A-L hyphen, B in because. B-E hyphen, N in enjoy. E-N hyphen, on in unbutton. U-N hyphen, in wrinkle. W-R, ud in could. O-U-L-D, air in hair. A-I-R, in push. U, in enough. O-U-G-H, in country. O-U, air in carry. A-R-R, ire in fire. I-R-E. Now, remember with the word uff, it is not U-F-F. It is O-U-G-H. So think that through. And then you'll notice you have air, air, and then you'll also have air in cherry, okay, and air in care. So you have to remember what special sound goes with that word. So that would be something that you would memorize. So you remember, and then on our spelling test last week, they had a lot of air special sounds. Now, what do we call these? These go in front of a root word. They are called prefixes. So they just make the word a different word. For example, sleep, asleep. So, also. Cause, because. Joy, enjoy. So it makes the word a different word. These are called prefixes. Now the last special sounds chart, this is one that is a little bit more difficult because they have bigger sounds and it's harder to remember. But let's go ahead and say these sounds. This time we're going to march and punch. Can you do two things at once? Let's see how you do. Full and beautiful, hyphen F-U-L, air in care, A-R-E, 10 in mountain, T-A-I-N, you're in pure, U-R-E, chur in pasture, T-U-R-E, war in warm, W-A-R, shun in nation, T-I-O-N, shun in missionary, S-I-O-N, Jean in television, S-I-O-N, A in 8, E-I-G-H, in sailor, O-R, in dollar, A-R, in crystal, Y, air in cherry, E-R-R. Good, now those are special sounds. We will play a little game by yourselves later on. But I want to go ahead and look at the board. We're going to talk about a couple of things that we've been discussing the last couple of weeks. So we're going to talk about ABC order. And for ABC order, I have 4 words. I have the word joy, house, tree, and hammer. Now, when I want to find ABC order, the first thing that I do is I look at the first letter of each of the words. So we have J, we have H, we have T, and we have H again. So you have to think in your alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is a word. So I found 2 words that start with H. So I'm going to take them out And we're going to look at those words. So I have two words that start with the letter H, and we know that when it starts with they both start with the same letter, that you have to go to, good job, the next letter. So you have H, O, and H, A. In the alphabet, what comes first? Does A come first or does O? Right, A comes first. So the first word in our ABC order would be hammer, and the second word would be house. Let me put them there. Now we have to figure out what comes next. So we have tree and we have joy. Well, let's go through alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Oh, I heard J. So I should have chosen joy. And then T is all the way at the end of the alphabet, so it will be the last. So here's our ABC order. So now we have it in correct order. Hammer, house, joy, tree. So that is how we would put those words in order. Now the next thing I want to look at, let's look at the sentence. Kyle saw a lizard. We're talking about our subjects and our verbs, or we would say a noun and a predicate, subject and a predicate. Subject and noun are the same, predicate and the verb are the same. Subject and predicate are just a fancy way of saying that, those words. Now, I want to diagram, when we diagram, the noun goes first, or your subject, and your predicate and or verb go next. So let's find our subject. So we start with, who are we talking about? Kyle saw a lizard. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Kyle. Good job. So Kyle is my subject. And then I ask myself, who, we did, what? What did Kyle do? Kyle, he saw. And saw is your action. Okay, so he saw. So Kyle saw is perfectly diagrammed, my subject and my predicate. Now I have a couple of other sentences and we're going to add, you guessed it, adjectives and adverbs. So the first thing we do when we see a sentence is we read it, of course. And we're going to read, Dad and James watched a beautiful sunrise. Now think it through. First thing we do is say, who are we talking about? This one's tricky. Did you catch it? There are two subjects. Dad and James, they're my first thing. There are two of them, so I have to underline Dad and James. And I'm going to put subject here in abbreviation, or I'll put N for noun. Okay? Then I'm going to find my verb. Who, what? What did James and Dad do? They watched. Underline watched twice. And that gets a V for verb. And then third, now we have to look for, well, there might be another noun. Let's see if there's another noun. Dad and James watched a beautiful sunrise. Do you see a noun there? There is. Sunrise is a noun. Now let's see what kind, because adjectives describe our nouns and we can ask questions like what kind, what color. So we'll say to the word sunrise, what kind of sunrise? And you guessed it, you should have chosen, it was a beautiful sunrise. So I'm going to draw a line, an arrow to my sunrise, and I'm going to put A, D, J. That's my adjective. Beautiful describes sunrise. Now look at your next sentence. The orange sun rose slowly. All right, so let's go ahead and think through. What am I talking about? The orange sun rose slowly. What's there that could be a subject? Person, place, or thing, or noun. All right, yes, sun. Sun is in fact, my subject. What is my verb? The orange sun. What did the sun do? The sun, good job. The sun rose. So it rose, so I'm going to underline it twice. Now I'll start with adjectives. So I look at my adjective, see if there's any. So I'll find my noun. Okay, there's the sun, that's my noun. Now ask, what kind of sun? Or what color of sun? Is there a word there that tells us a color or a kind? Yes, orange describes sun. It tells us that the sun was orange. So my adjective there was orange. It made me picture a sun being orange. Did you picture that? I sure did. And then look at my verb. Now I'm going to ask my verb, how did it rise? It rose slowly. It rose slowly. So my adverb, it tells how the sun, how it rose. It rose slowly up into the sky. Good job. If you understood that, excellent. Now, the last few things we're going to do is we're going to talk about of course, our dictionary. All right, we've been discussing the dictionary, and we have said that dictionaries help us to find words. And we did say that at the top of the word, these are called guide words. These are called guide words. And then all the words on the page here, let me get closer, these are entry words. So all the words in the bold black are your entry words. And an entry word always has included, it will show specifically how the word's pronounced so you know how to say it correctly. It will have your parts of speech. It will actually tell you if it's a noun, adjective, verb, or a verb or an adverb. And it even goes further into parts of speech that you wouldn't know, but you'll know eventually. Preposition, pronoun. So those would be things you'll be learning in 3rd and 4th grade. And then your entry word always tells you the definition. It tells you what it means, because you need to know, it's important to know what words mean. And then the last thing that they do for you is they put it in a sentence for you. So let's just go ahead and take, let's see here. Let's try the word botany. That's a strange word. What is botany? Well, it says botany. Look how it's spelled. Okay, so it tells you, it says N, that stands for a noun. And it tells you it's a specialist in botany. So it's a branch of biology dealing with plants. So botany has to do with plants. And there are people who are botanists, people who love to study plants. I like plants, but I don't think I love to study them. Do you? Maybe you'll be a botanist someday. All right, and so it tells you those things. Now, this is a children's dictionary, so it wouldn't have all of these, some of the other words we're looking for. My dictionary is falling apart. All right, so here we'll look at the word, both. Well, let me find it. Okay, both, and it shows you how. Here's your word both. It tells you long, and that's an adjective. And then it has your definition, the two, the one, and the other. And then it said, here's your sentence, both sisters are pretty. So it used it in a sentence for you. Now, as you look at your page for today, I want to go ahead and look at page 315. It's asking you, it talks about entry words, which we talked about. That was the bold, the black part in a dictionary. So they have here different sets of entry words. They have mare, instant, couple, delay, moist. So they tell you your entry words, then they tell you what part of speech it was, and they gave you the definition. So let's look at the first question that's asked there. It says, which of these entries would you find first? Now remember, think about ABC order. Which one of those words would be in order first? Mare, instant, couple, delay, moist. Which one starts with the closest letter to the alphabet? A, B, C. Okay, good job. You should have chosen couple. Then it's going to ask you which one's last. Go through your alphabet. Then it will ask you 3 entry words that are nouns. Remember, it actually says what part of speech it is after the entry word. So find the nouns. And then it asks for an adjective, so you'll find that one. And then down at the bottom, it says choose a synonym to write in the blank. Remember, synonym is a word that is the same, means the same thing, but it's spelled different and it's a different word. For example, Uncle Max has a couple of hunting dogs. What word would be the same as, mean the same as couple? there's a couple of them. You could have said the word pair, a pair, that means a couple, a few, all right, or a team. So all of those things could mean the same as a synonym, which means this, it means the same, but it's spelled differently. All right, and then look over on the back side on page 316. Here we have what we just talked about, finding your subject and your verb, so you should be able to do that. And then go down to number 3. This is one of the parts that I want to talk to you about. It's talking about adding apostrophes. Now we add apostrophes for different things. Contractions. We add apostrophes for words that are possessive. They are mine, apostrophe S. So let's go ahead and look at the first sentence. Jacob's mom made delicious apple dessert in a heavy pan. There is a word that should have an apostrophe in it. Did you think of Jacob's apostrophe S mom? It's his mom. So you should have chosen Jacob and put an apostrophe indent there. Let's look at the next one. Jacob and Ashley hadn't seen food cooked this way. Did you find the contraction there? Hadn't was the contraction. So you should have put a apostrophe in between N and T. And then the next sentence, Mom set the pan of apples in the hot coals of the campfire. That one actually did not need an apostrophe at all. Now the last couple I'm going to have you do on your own. Look for words that should be contractions or things that show ownership, the possessive. Hopefully that was helpful to you.